Hi guys, Happy New Year! Welcome to my December wrap-up. Yeah, December's finally over. 2018 is finally over. We're finally in 2019. And I need to talk about the books that I read in December. I feel there's not a lot. And I don't really have a lot next to me, but I do have some that I don't have anymore. I did read quite a few for Smuttathon, and I already have a wrap-up for that, so I'll link that down below. And I'll link the other reading updates that I have down below. I think there's only two, so I think I have like the first week and then Smuttathon. And the last couple of weeks I didn't make a reading update because I've been in kind of a slump and I really haven't felt like talking about the one or two books that I was reading. So, yeah. I didn't make a reading update the last couple of weeks. So, I'm just gonna talk about them all here. I did see a movie this month. I went and saw Aquaman, and it was amazing. I loved it. And I understand why people didn't like it, but I thought it was fantastic, and I absolutely loved it, and it's like in my top favorites of the year. It's like right there with Black Panther, and I loved Black Panther. Like, I think it's Black Panther and then Aquaman. That's how I'm feeling right now. I thought it was amazing. I have been feeling like DC has just been screwing up movies left and right. I thought Wonder Woman was good. Man of Steel was really good. I liked both of those. I liked their origin movies, but I hated Batman vs. Superman, and I was just like really disappointed with Justice League. Though I thought it was better than what I thought going into it, because I really thought it was going to be one of the worst movies ever. I didn't feel like that. I thought there was good moments in Justice League, but I didn't necessarily love it. But Aquaman was so fantastic. I did feel like the music was kind of cheesy at times, like when a villain comes and like lifts their helmet, boom. Like, I got over that really quick. For some of the times I was like, okay, where's the music? I need it now. Like, I don't know, I was really entertained. I really love this movie, and now I just really want to see it like all the time. That's a movie I'm definitely gonna own. I can't wait for. Like, I just seriously cannot wait for Aquaman to come out on DVD just so I can have it in my hands, because I loved it. I loved it a lot. Okay. So that's like the only movie. Oh, I did rent from Redbox House of the Clock in Its Walls. I don't recommend that movie at all. I hated it. I thought it was awful. Oh my god. I was going into it with an open mind. I liked Goosebumps with Jack Black. I thought that was good. And then House of the Clock in Its Walls, I was like, it looks good. It has Cate Blanchett in it. I'm like, you can't go wrong with Cate Blanchett. God, that movie was awful. And a pretty good cast, too. And that movie was just awful. Oh, man. See, I don't recommend that one. My dad watched it and liked it. I didn't like it. Me and my brother, we watched it together and we were just like, no, this movie was awful. Never again. I think those are the only two movies I've seen. I think that's about it. Crap. In terms of video games, I have been playing Spyro. I got this for Christmas. I also got this one for Christmas, but I still have my library copy, so I'm going to show you this one. Darksiders 3, I've also been playing this one, and yeah, these are the only two games I'm playing in December, and I'm loving them both. So, Darksiders 3 is the third in a series that I have loved. Well, I really love the first one. The second one I have yet to finish, and I'm not going to go into that because I just can't seem to finish. I don't know, I just wasn't liking 2 as much, but 3 has reignited my love for it. And then Spyro, the Reignited trilogy, it's just so nostalgic, and I love it, and I've just been playing a little bit here and there, and there's like no story, really, but I still really enjoy it, and yeah, I really love these two games, and these are the only ones I've been playing, so, that's really it. I haven't really been doing anything else. So let's just get in with the books, okay? So yeah, like I said, I read some books for Smartathon, and I will link that wrap up down below. But I had a really, really good week that week. Like, I read quite a bit of smutty books, and they were really great. Before Smartathon, I read a couple of books. I don't think I really read that much. I read Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. This is the Trials of Morgan Crow, the first in its series. I really, really love this one. This is about Morgan, who is born on the unluckiest day on Eventide, and she's blamed for everything that goes wrong. The reason why being born on Eventide is unlucky is because on your 11th birthday, you were doomed to die. You will die in the strike of midnight on your 11th birthday. On her 11th birthday, she is visited by Jupiter North, who comes and whisks her away to Nevermore, this magical city, and saves her from dying. There she encounters magic, and Jupiter takes her to the ever-changing hotel that I love. I love that the hotel like changes itself, and it's amazing. He puts her in these series of trials to be accepted into the Wonder Society. I think that's what it's called. Yes, the Wonder Society. Where there she will be she'll be able to stay in Nevermore, because she's from the Republic State and Nevermore's a free state. They don't allow anyone from the Republic State into Nevermore. She's kind of there illegally. Okay, this is bad. But if she's accepted into the Wonder Society, she'll be able to stay in Nevermore safely, and she won't be sent back. So she needs to be accepted in, and she needs to pass these trials. There's like hundreds of people in these trials, and they're only accepting 9. So she doesn't have she doesn't have any good odds, but, she still has to go for it if she wants to stay and not go back home to die. There were plot twists that I saw coming. I didn't care about it. I still really enjoyed it, and I'm so glad that I read it, and now I really, really want the sequel. I really enjoyed the trials aspect. Some people didn't like that part, and I can understand why. But for me, that part is so interesting, and I really love seeing those. And those can be, like, my favorite parts. And they were. Like, there were definitely some trials that I liked more than others, but they were definitely, like, some of my favorite parts. I really love the friendships that she makes in this. I love Jupiter. I love the hotel, and there's this, like, giant cat. It's amazing, and I love it, and I love the magic, and a lot of people are comparing this to Harry Potter, and I can understand why. It's the feel of the book that reminds you of Harry Potter, and of course, like, a child being whisked away to this magical place, when they're only living in a non-magical place. That part is very Harry Potter-esque. But it's more of, like, the feel of everything that reminds you of Harry Potter. It doesn't, like, there's nothing nothing about the story to, like, truly compare other than a child being whisked away. But yeah, I absolutely love this book. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. This was amazing. Another one I read was Nevermore Wake by Marisha Pessl. Oh my god, I almost forgot the author's name. I really enjoyed that one as well. That one is about a girl, Beatrice, who, right? Oh crap. I think it's Beatrice. I'm pretty sure it's Beatrice. She used to go to this school. I think it was like a boarding school. She had this boyfriend, and then a year ago he passed, and she leaves the school and all of her friends behind. She goes home, and now it's been a year, and she really wants to go back to see her friends. Yeah, she really wants to go back to see her friends, and I can't remember exactly the true motive of going back, but it had to do with her boyfriend. And I think she wanted to know more about, like, everything that was going on around that time. I'm so sucking at this one. When she gets there, everybody's, like, surprised to see her, and a lot of events happen, but one of the events was they decided to go on this, like, car ride. They're all in the car, and they're just driving down the street, or just driving on the road, and they almost get into this accident. They're, taken off the road, and they're almost into this really bad accident. But they survived. They're, you know, they're fine, and they go home. They're still a bit shaken, but they go home, and they just try to forget that it ever happened. Then this really old creepy guy comes and explains to them that they didn't survive the accident. They all died. And they're in what's called a Nevermore Wake, where they're in this time loop. They're going to relive the day over and over and over again. And they will relive it until they come to a consensus and vote. They have to vote for only one person out of, I think, like the 5 or 6 people that gets to live that gets to survive the accident. Only one is able to live. All of the rest of them have to die. I really enjoy Groundhog-esque movies or books. I love time loops. I always have. Anytime, like, I watch a show and there's an episode with a time loop, or I watch a movie and it like Groundhog Day, or I read a book and it has that, I really enjoy it. So I really did enjoy that aspect. I did feel like the ending was just too obvious for me. Like, I was really hoping to be surprised more, to have, like, a huge plot twist to, like, shock me at the end. I didn't feel that. It didn't happen. I was kind of disappointed at the end. But I really enjoyed the journey and just everything that was happening up to the ending. It was so enjoyable. It was gonna get a 5 stars until the end. Now it's at a 4 star. I really didn't enjoy the ending. Though I did feel there were plot twists that, like, kind of shocked me up until that point. And I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, I was a little upset about the end. But it's still good at 4 stars. I really did enjoy the book, and I really enjoyed the characters, and just, like, a lot of the twists and turns that I got. It was really good, and I really enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend it. Okay, finally, we can talk about a couple of the books that I have here. Oh god. The only book that I was able to finish. Okay. So after Smuttathon, we need to talk about this. After Smuttathon, I got into this huge slump. I tried and tried and tried to read, and I just couldn't find anything that I was liking. I started The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory. Right after Smuttathon was the Magical Readathon Christmas at Hogwarts, and the first challenge for that was to finish your coursework. So on Sunday, after finishing my last book for Smonathon, I decided I'm going to start a couple things, see which one I'm like really liking, and then I'll use that for the Magical Readathon, the first challenge, and I can continue on from there. First one was The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory. I read about 5 to 10 pages before considering DNFing. I was really not liking the dialogue of the main character, any of the characters. I wasn't liking the writing. I wasn't liking anything about this. I was only 10 pages in, but I just really wasn't liking anything. And when I consider DNFing, that means that I will flip through the book and look for scenes, anything that will like hold my interest and like make me want to keep reading. And if I find something, I will literally go back and continue reading up to that point. I don't care if I spoil myself if I'm considering DNFing. I hate, like, putting some, like, I don't want to DNF the book so early on if it's just something that, like, I am just not enjoying. I want to try to find something that I'll enjoy, and then I'll actually go back and keep reading. I don't care if I even read the end, because I have done that. If it's something that I would enjoy, I would go back and continue reading. But I didn't find anything for The Proposal, and I did ultimately DNF it. I just really wasn't liking it. So that one was out. I DNF'd that Sunday night. I also had started Empress of All Seasons by Amiko Jean, and that one I was enjoying up till about 60 pages. Then the love triangle was introduced. I hate love triangles. Now, there are times when love triangles are good and they end well and I can really enjoy them. But for like the last few books that I've read with love triangles, I have not liked them. I have enjoyed the Infernal Devices with that love triangle. I have enjoyed the Kane Chronicles with that love triangle. There are more, I know it. I can't think of any at the moment. Throne of Glass with that love triangle it doesn't matter. The love triangle there, like, I've seen it done well and I've liked them, but with Empress of All Seasons, once a love triangle was introduced, I could only see it going badly. I couldn't see it ending well. So when I considered DNFing it, I flipped to the end. I had to. I flipped a little bit, like, into the future, but ultimately I went to the end. I was just like, I need to know how this ends. I need to know what happens, and if the love triangle wouldn't affect anything so bad. I wasn't enjoying what was going on, so I ultimately DNF'd it. Again, I just can't continue reading something that I know I'm not going to like. So I DNF'd both of those. I DNF'd Empress of All Seasons sometime Monday during the readathon. I didn't get anything read for the readathon because, well, after that, I didn't read anything for about 5 days. Yeah. So I was really upset about that. But during Christmas, I did pick up Snow and Love by, these are 4 stories by Casey West, Nick Stone, Amy Friedman, and Melissa De La Cruz. These are 4 holiday stories. They're really short. They're like 70 pages each. 2 take place during Christmas. Like, 2 are Christmas stories, and 2 have Jewish main characters, so they're, like, Hanukkah stories. They celebrate Hanukkah. And I think there's also some Christmas sprinkled in there as well. I also I'm also Jewish and celebrate Christmas as well. So those were interesting to see. But ultimately, I think I've said that quite a bit lately. But Casey West was her story was the only one I truly loved. That is Snow and Mistletoe. And that was the only one that I was just like, this is amazing. I love this one. That was the first one. So, of course, the other ones weren't going to be as good. But that one I gave like 5 stars too. That was so good. That's about a road trip. Well, it's about a girl who gets stuck at the airport, and she wants, she needs to get home, but her flight is canceled / delayed because of the snow, and she needs to take a road trip with these people she sort of knows from school. So they're not entirely strangers, but she doesn't necessarily truly know them. And Amy Friedman's story is the second one. That one's about a department store elf on Hanukkah or a Hanukkah miracle may happen when a department store elf finds love. That one was okay. I didn't hate it as much as a lot of other people did. I gave that about like 3 stars. But I wasn't necessarily thrilled with it. Melissa de la Cruz's was about 2 people on Christmas Eve who exchanged gifts. That one was... I saw everything that was coming. I was not really thrilled with anything that happened. They say it's all about a plot twist. There's no plot twist, okay? You know it's coming. It happens way too often. I felt like that was too cliched, and I didn't care about any of the characters except for the main the male love interest. I thought he was great. Everybody else was just awful, and I really hated the main character, so I gave that like 2 stars. And the Nick Stones is it's about these 2 girls who get stuck at the airport, and they decide to do this scavenger hunt game while waiting for their flights to their flights were delayed, so they're waiting for their flights to finally come in and they can leave. So they decided to play this game of scavenger hunt. And that one was pretty good. It's a female-female romance, which I really liked. And I ultimately enjoyed that one. I gave that one like 4 stars. It was really hard to get into at first. But I did really enjoy it by the end, and I gave it 4 stars. So Casey West and Nick Stones were the only ones I feel that did anything for this, and the other 2, Amy Friedman's and Melissa de la Cruz's, was just not so great. But yeah, I gave this 3 stars. It really sucks because I would have loved to give it 5 stars just for Casey West alone and Nick Stones, but no, this gets a 3 star because of the other 2. Which really sucks. But I do really love Casey West and Nick Stones, so. I also picked up around Christmas One Day in December by Josie Silver. This one I got about 12 pages before I set it down. I'm not in the mood for it, so I set it down. But this one also was part of the slump part, and this didn't necessarily get me out of it, but it kind of helped. I read 3 novellas from the Ghost of the Shadow Market by Cassandra Clare and other authors, various others I can't think of their names. Like, I think Kelly Link and other people I can't think of. Son of the Dawn was the first one, which is, they all follow Brother Zachariah in the Shadow Market, but the first one also had Jace in his first meeting with the Lightwoods, which is really good. I gave that 4 stars. The second one, Cast Long Shadows, I think it's called. That one, oh god, I got something in my eye. That one, that one had to do with Matthew Fairchild, which, a lot of these characters are from they're the children of the people from the Infernal Devices, so if you haven't read the Infernal Devices, then you wouldn't really know about any of these. But if you've read Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy, you get some of their, you get a little glimpse into them, into their lives. And these novellas are helping with that. The children are going to get their own stories, or their own books, the last hours. I think the first one Chain of Gold? I think that's it. So you're going to see more of them in their trilogy series when that comes out in November of this year. So in November 2019. I'm like really excited for that. But this one had to do with Matthew Fairchild, and there's really no plot to this one. I give this like 2 stars, 2.5 stars. I didn't necessarily love it. It was okay. But there's really no plot. There was just like nothing happening. And I just really didn't love that one as much. The third is the last one I read, Every Exquisite Thing. This one had to do with Anna Lightwood. Was it Anna Lightwood? Yeah. And it had to do with like about her identity and how she identifies herself, and her doomed romance, like doomed crush on another girl. And that one I enjoyed. I gave it like 3.5 stars. Again, I felt like there's like no plot. At least I don't remember there being anything. So yeah, I give that one like 3.5 stars. The other books that I've read were all... Okay. Sorry, my family's making noise. The other books that I read were all smutty, trashy books. They're all part of a series, the Ice Planet Barbarian series. I heard this from Lainey over Ginger Reads Lainey. She was talking about them and how awful they are. But I was like, they're free on Kindle Unlimited. I have Kindle Unlimited. I might as well just pick up the first one and just... Every once in a while I really need like a really trashy, smutty book. And, well, if it's free, I'm not gonna like pass it up. I'm just gonna see how it is. I read like the first 6. I'm still reading them. There's like a ton of them. And I'm not gonna tell you all the titles because I don't remember all the titles. And every time I read one, I get rid of it and I get the next one. But they all follow these group of women that are being abducted by aliens, and they are treated awful. They're being abducted to take to another planet. You don't know why they're being taken, but there's like... They got their group of women, they put those women to sleep, and then they grabbed more, and those women are deemed as extras. And they're just like locked in a cage. And if they make trouble and noise, then they're raped. It's not good. But then the women decide to rebel, and they kill all the aliens there, and they crash land on this ice planet. And from there it gets trashy, smutty, you know. They meet the locals there. The first... it's all about to do with mates and making babies and stuff like that. I don't hate them because, again, I'm on like the 7th one. The first one had to do with it was Georgie and Vectel. I think their romance... I'm gonna call it romance because I really like them together. Even if it's supposed to be like this trashy, you know, smutty book. I don't care. I just really like them together. He's an alien, and, you know, he sees his mate in her, and he's gonna take her. Sometimes it's not great, but sometimes it's not bad. This is so bad. This is so bad. But I really like their story. The next one I think is Liz's story. That one wasn't so bad. Then I think it's Kira. No, then it's Harlow. Or no, then it's Kira. Then it's Harlow. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. Each woman gets their own story. The fifth one is a holiday story, which I really liked. You get to see Georgie again, with her mate Vectel, and then it's another girl's, you know, her love story with her mate. They are not supposed to be good. They're not good. But they're really addicting and entertaining. And so I read them. like, I'm not rating them. They're not great. I'm not rating them. I don't count them as books that I've read on Goodreads. I don't count them. I needed to get out of my slump, and they've been helping. Like, every once in a while, if I feel like I'm gonna get into a slump, I read another one. They're free on Kindle Unlimited. I'm not gonna say, like, I didn't pay any money for it, so I'm not, I'm not mad that I'm reading them. They're helping. The last two books that I have, are the last two ones that I've actually just finished. The first one is My Favorite Half Nightstand by Christina Lauren. This is their newest book. I didn't know what the hell I was getting into when I went into this book, because I didn't want to know about it going in. I just wanted to be surprised. But this is about these group of professors. They all, teach at this college, and they're all friends, and they need dates to this party they're having at work. I guess Obama's gonna be there, and they all want to have dates when they meet Obama, which I thought was great. And so they have a hard time finding dates, so they decide to try some online dating, and they join this online dating app, and it goes from there. It's literally like a group of guys and one woman. And there's some, here, let me see if I can find it. There's some instant messaging that I really liked. Oh, come on, now I can't find it. Here it is. So it's like there's some instant messaging that like really helps out. So I mean, and so the story is, okay, so Millie and Reed are like the two main characters, and then the rest of the guys are just, side characters. So Millie and Reed, they're part of the friend group, and they have drunken sex. They have a half nightstand, because in online dating, a half nightstand is when you have sex and you leave right after. You don't stay the night. I still always thought that was a one night stand, but okay. So Millie and Reed have drunken sex. They don't want to tell anybody else. And then they go on this online dating app, and Reed is talking to this girl, and Millie decides to make another account using her middle name, and she gets matched with Reed on this account, and she sort of catfishes him. At first it's supposed to be like this joke. He's supposed to know it's her. He doesn't realize it's her right away, and now she's stuck. She has all these meaningful, like, letters with him. Like, they talk a lot. Millie is not known for, like, sharing her feelings and, like, really talking and opening up to people. She has a hard time doing this. You find out in this book why. Reed loves openness and honesty, and he needs that. The first 125 pages of this, I felt like I wasn't really getting anywhere. I wasn't really enjoying it. I was just like, this is okay, but I'm not really like, this isn't feeling like a Christina Lauren book to me. This is definitely different from anything else I've read from them. But it just wasn't giving me the feelings that I normally get when I read a Christina Lauren book. After that, because I did set this down for a little bit and have to pick it back up like days later, but once I got through that like 150 pages, I was hooked and I couldn't put this down. That's just how it happened. I ultimately really love this. I love the fact that our main characters are flawed, and, it does deal with openness and honesty, and Millie catfishes him. And normally, I would hate that. I think that was one of the reasons why I was, like, really not enjoying the first 150 pages. I don't like lying as a plot device. I really don't. But it really, she doesn't get away with it, obviously, and I really like how it resolved in the end, and I give this like 4 stars. This was still really good, and I still really loved it, but I had to knock it down a star because of the first 150 pages, and the fact that I really don't like lying as a plot device, but I really did like how it resolved, and I really did feel like the romance was really, really wonderful. And here, let me see if I can find it. Here. These are the letters that they're, like, sending to each other on the app. Like, that he's sending to Kat, which is, you know, her middle name. But those are the letters he's sending her. I don't think I can find the ones that he just sends to, what's her stupid face? Oh, yeah, here, like, okay, this is the other girl he was talking to. That's her. Like, this is Kat, or Millie. Like, she still gets more. Reed, like, really likes talking to her. And then here's Daisy, which is the other girl. And his response is literally, like, not even a sentence. Like, it's in there somewhere. It's not even a sentence. So, I really loved those parts. Like, I really loved reading those letters to each other, and I thought they were just so beautiful, and yeah, just 4 stars. This was really good. And even if I didn't enjoy necessarily the first 150, like, they're not bad. Like, the first 150 isn't bad by any means. I just wasn't feeling like this was a Christina Lauren book to me. This is just like, okay, I was kind of struggling through those pages, but once I got past that, I was in this all the way, and I finished this within a day. Like, I was only 125 pages in, and then I read the rest of the book, which is 367 pages. I read all of that in a day. So, yeah, I don't know the math, but I went from 125 to 367 in a day. The 125, though, took me like 3 days. Alright, the last book I'm going to talk about, wow, is this long, is Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. I finally read this. You know, I finally did it. This one also took me quite a while to read, but again, it could have just been the slump. I've talked about this a lot. This is about, it's about a girl, Yumeko, who is a kitsune. She's part fox. It's about her and this demon slayer, Tatsumi. They are traveling. Okay, so Yumeko is from this temple. She was raised by monks, and they have been holding this part of the Dragon Scroll, my god. Every 1,000 years, this dragon is summoned using the 2 pieces of the scroll, right? Or, I'm sorry, not every 1,000 years. 1,000 years ago, the dragon was summoned to grant a terrible wish, and now it's 1,000 years later, and, you know, certain people want to summon him again, and they need the, you know, parts of the Dragon Scroll to do that. Yumeko, again, is being raised by these monks. The temple is being infiltrated by demons. The monks are being killed, and they give Yumeko the piece of the scroll that they've been holding, and tell her to get to another temple. She has to find her way there and take it to them, and they can hold... They have another piece of the scroll, but this way they can hold both pieces. And Tatsumi, who is a Kage, he's part of the Shadow Clan, he's a demon slayer. He is there at the temple. He was, you know, traveling there to get the scroll, and he bumps into Yumeko, sees that the temple is being burned to the ground. Yumeko tells him that the scroll that he's searching for is at the temple that they need to get to. She knows she's not going to be able to get to this temple without help, and so she you know, gets Tatsumi to come with her and help her, you know, get to this temple, and lies to him that the scroll that he's searching for is there, so that he will help her get to the temple. Along the way, they meet other characters, like a Ronin and this noble character, and I just really love the characters they that they meet along the way. The situations they get themselves into. This really felt like an anime when you're reading it. I do agree to that. Everyone says it, and it's true. It feels like an anime when you're reading it. Jesse from Jesse Reader compared this to Inuyasha, and I agree. I didn't realize it until he said it, but yeah, I like, now I see it. It definitely feels like Inuyasha when you're reading it. It also has, because of the dragon, the summoning, it feels a little bit like Dragon Ball Z, but only because of that. And this would be a great anime. It really would. Like, if this was an anime, I would be watching this and really hooked, and like, each situation they got themselves into seemed just like, you know, okay, here's an episode, and this is, you know, the situation they're into. Now here's the next episode, you know, stuff like that. I did enjoy this. I didn't love it. I really wanted to love it, but I didn't. I really did enjoy it though, and I gave this 4 stars. I think I will be continuing on. I know the sequel comes out in 2019, but I did really enjoy this, and I'm glad that I read it. I didn't love it as much as I would have wanted to. Like, this would have been a 5-star prediction for me. It ultimately became a 4-star. But it still was really good. I still enjoyed it. There were parts that I felt like, okay, I didn't really need this. This isn't really, you know, this is kind of boring. I'm not really into this. Then there were parts that I was like, okay, this is kind of good. Like again, there's some episodes that you really love, and there's some episodes that are like filler kind of episodes. This was still really good. I give this 4 stars, and I highly recommend it. Okay, that's it. That's my December wrap-up. I'm sorry that this was so long. I didn't realize that this would be this long. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this wrap-up, and I will see you with another video. Bye.